Welcome to Be Who They Come To, where healing meets humor and spirit meets story. Oriana and Kelly are two friends who've stumbled, laughed, cried, and somehow found their way back to source. This podcast is a space to share the messy, magical journey of recovery, healing, and rediscovering themselves, and ideally, helping you do the same, with plenty of laughter along the way, because sometimes the best medicine really is a mix of soul work and a good sense of humor. And now, be who they come to.
Hey, Cal.
Heyo.
Hey, John.
Hey, yo.
How's everyone doing today?
Oh, living the dream.
Yeah.
You beat me to it.
I have wanted to do that for the longest time. As soon as you sent me the invite to be on the podcast, I'm like, I need to get in front of that.
Perfect. It was
so
perfect.
much fun to say.
I love it. Living the dream as per usual. Yeah.
Yes.
So today's episode, and thanks everybody for tuning in and watching and listening. Always appreciated. We love you guys. But today's episode is on change. The good, the bad, the ugly. And we'll start, though, with our quotes. So, John, we'll let you go first. What is your quote today?
Are you familiar with Simon Sinek?
Love Simon.
Right.
Simon. He's a hottie. Yeah, love him to pieces.
I can't get enough of the guy. One of my favorite quotes from him is, "The goal is not to be perfect by the end. The goal is to be better tomorrow."
Oh, I love that.
That is beautiful.
One chapter at a time, right? Don't write the whole book.
It. Yeah.
That is quite beautiful, actually.
One day at a time. Yeah. Sometimes it's 1 minute at a time. Sometimes it's 1 hour at a time.
Fair.
Yeah. Cal, what's yours?
Okay. Well, hopefully I can pronounce it properly today. And if I don't, well.
But then that's Kelly. That's just
then
who
that's
you are.
me. Yeah, it's my brain fog or whatever you want to call it. This one is by Carl Jung. He's we quite frequently quote him.
Yeah, he's great.
So, until you make your unconscious conscious, it will direct your life. Sorry, it will direct your life. It will direct your life, and you will call it fate.
Can you repeat that?
How evil are you making? She just said.
I barely got through that.
I know. That's why I'm being a dick.
Total dick.
I know.
Okay. Until you make your unconscious conscience, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
There we go.
Was that better?
That was. Oh,
we'll fix that in editing. No problem.
A+.
Like butter.
A+.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, I think we have to take care of what's in our shadow part.
Yes, I agree. No, and my purpose behind that was to tease you, actually. So it wasn't. But I'm glad you did repeat it. That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, the quote that I have today is something that really stuck with me actually a few months ago. And it is, people don't see the choices you have, only the decision that you've made.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So your options could all be shit. Mm-hmm. And then people are judging you based on what they see. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know what went on behind the scenes.
Yep.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't
I dig
know.
it.
Yeah. Can you repeat that, O?
No. Why is my camera acting up again?
I've jinxed all.
There it is.
The guy who helped you get your tech sorted is on the podcast today, and now all the tech is falling apart.
I know.
Ironic, yeah.
The lighting, the cams, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I tried to get an external cam, but I bought the bottom of the barrel one, and it wouldn't even turn on. So I'm like, Amazon, return. So I'll get something better. I just feel like our recordings are a little on the fuzzy side. So
hey, did you hear that Amazon is going to start selling Ford cars? Like, I'm not even joking. Yeah. Amazon and Ford. Yeah.
No way.
I'm looking forward to ordering a car because I know the car will arrive in the driveway, but inevitably I'll get the notification that the keys have been delivered, but they're somewhere in like Nova Scotia.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the box for that?
Yeah, right? Oh, the
That's-
bubble wrap. Oh, the bubble wrap.
Oh, the bubble wrap. The giant bubbles too, not the little ones, the big ones.
Yeah,
Those are the ones you
right.
got to stomp on.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a
That's
good
cool.
therapy session, though. Really,
Totally.
Just like a smash room. Oh yeah.
Mm.
But bubble wrap room. Oh my God, I'm going to invent that. Like a whole
bubble.
place where you can just come and just stomp on some bubbles.
Oh, you know what?
That's Oriana's thing.
Yeah, there you go. Patent it.
That's it. I called it. Oh, shit, my cam again. This is going to be a very annoying episode.
This is all right. So really what our opening is what really change is really about. And I think it's different for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not big change. It's little teeny micro moments, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The
And
little stuff that leads to the big stuff.
Well, that's it. And a lot of things can make change happen even if you don't want it to.
Yeah, it's not always voluntary.
That's true.
Right, John?
Yes.
Yeah, not always voluntary. Sometimes it's out of our hands, right?
It is.
But change can be a beautiful gift, though.
Well, that's what it was for me, for sure.
Yeah.
And Oriana, I mean, I've known Oriana for quite a while. I've seen, quite a few changes in your life, and you're pretty good. I know you probably beat yourself up a lot, but you're
faking it.
Okay, well, okay, you're pretty good at faking. Well, that doesn't sound right.
Faking that I have my shit together, right? No, I never fake it. That I don't do. That'll never give you the satisfaction of that shit. Nope,
all right.
Nope.
But I think we all, to some degree, fake it till we make it, right? I mean, we don't know what we're dealing with until we're in the thick of it.
That's it.
And
I think, too, they say fake it because eventually the feelings will come. That success will come if you act like it's there. And, like that mood will come if you act happy. Or there was something that I read the other day. It says smile because it'll actually make you feel better in the moment. And I smiled and I was like, oh, yeah, that did kind of alleviate my shit a little bit. It was kind of weird.
Well, that's kind of, therapy 101 too, right? That's one of the early things they teach you is to, self-affirmations, look in the mirror, build yourself up and smile and laugh and crack a joke. And, one of the early lessons I got when I was going through really bad depression was a great life coach of mine who's become just an unbelievable friend. Had always been a good friend, but just an unbelievable friend. Said something to the effect of, when you lift, no matter how low you are, when you take a moment and lift someone else up, you'll fly with them.
Yep.
And it's so true. And just stand in the mirror and smile and laugh.
That's a lot of the premise of our new organization too. It's helping others. And I know me and Kelly are the same. We're at our best when we're helping others.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Service to others. Yeah.
For no other reason, it gives you focus.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, it's one of my love languages too, right? I like to help others. I like to problem solve. And
I find when I'm helping others, and I try and do that as often as I can, it just, again, I don't allow myself. It doesn't afford me the opportunity to wallow in my own misery.
Right.
Yep. If you're busy doing something else. Yep.
Well, I think it gives us perspective, right? Because sometimes, other people are kind of going through some stuff and 100%. You think your stuff is really big, and then you kind of look at somebody else's pile and you're like, oh shit. It gives you some perspective. Oh, yeah. And it gets you outside of your head, I think, which is helpful.
Yeah. No, Kel, there's lots of times too where you'll be venting, blah, 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 I'll be like, okay, change the subject, my turn. Blah, blah, blah. We just switch back and forth from
shoveling away.
Exactly. It's true.
So with change though, do you find, John, that when there's change in your life, is it fear based, or is it relief? Are you afraid, or are you sensing relief, or
if I plan it
right
and I find myself, at the 20-yard line, at the 50-yard line, at the 10-yard line, I start getting excited, and that's a sense of relief.
Right.
My story of my biggest career or my biggest change in life, they were always things that I didn't see coming. And, you can say that I'm a pessimist about things. I absolutely was in a number of cases. I think I was realistic in another case. But yeah, the pessimist in me often gets in my way and doesn't allow me to see the good that can come of things. But once you start through the process, because all of a sudden you're given no choice, you got other shit you got to deal with. Once you start shoveling the shit, eventually you start seeing some daylight through it all, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, suddenly you find yourself on a path that you probably wouldn't have chosen for yourself, but oh my God, is this ever the best place to be?
Right. Right. It's true.
So if you want me to share a little bit of my story on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So for your listeners who may not know who I am, boy, that sounds egotistical, doesn't it? Well, get used to it, because don't you know who I am?
Right.
Actually, when we name drop you, so many people know you. Like, even
really?
including my cousin.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know John. He's a great guy. So you're good.
Oh, good. I have another one fooled. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
My story in a nutshell is lifelong broadcaster. From my earliest memories, I sat in front of the radio in mom and dad's room, mesmerized by it, and always wanted to be that person in the community who was letting you know what was going on in and around you, playing this great music, and just, it always sounded like so much fun. So I was just, that was the only conversation I ever had as a kid. I was modifying CB radios so that I could actually play my turntable through them. My buddy down the street could, listen to what I was playing on my turntable. And it just went on and on from there. But through high school, I wasn't interested in high school. Math? Why am I going to need math? I'm going to be in radio. Forget math. Of course, my first job in radio, I have satellite news coming up at the top of the hour, and I need to back time. So the song is 2 minutes and 53 seconds long. I've got 15 seconds. Right? It's in increments of 60, not 100. It's like, fuck, what do I do now? I should have paid more attention in math. But everything I did in high school, as far as electives, was marketing, because I knew we'd be talking about radio. It was graphic arts, because I could design band logos and radio logos and drama and that. But I picked the college I was going to go to. I picked where I was, the station I was going to work at the minute I graduated. I called all of that, and I was right on all of that. So I spent quite a few years before I finally got to, radio in my hometown of Ottawa. But I spent 23 years at the same radio station, which had gone through a couple of format changes, which I thankfully survived. And ended up, through change in ownership and management styles and goals, and moved into a building with a TV station, and all, things just changed around me. And I always, in my mind, felt that, no, I was still with the same people, still at the same station. The way I'm feeling and the way I'm processing this and seeing things. No, I must be wrong, because it's always been this way. Well, it wasn't.
Right.
And if I look back on it, I probably did myself a huge disservice by not recognizing it and getting out. I had other opportunities. I didn't take them. Had I taken them, I wonder where I would have ended up. But
that was fear, right? That was fear.
Well, that was fear. Yeah, a little bit of fear. Also, it didn't feel right.
Right.
There was one opportunity to move to another province. The moving allowance was not going to get us there. So that was one thing. But it went from a really nice conversation to all of a sudden a lot of pressure to sign the contract, which was still coming through the fax machine.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, I should.
And they still have fax numbers. Why? I don't understand. Why?
I actually just made an insurance claim the other day, and they needed something by fax. I'm like, you're kidding me right now. So I had to go to Staples to do it. Anyway, was able to stick with the same station for a long, long time. And out of nowhere, in fact, so the backstory is my wife had worked for Sears for a number of years. And the writing was on the wall at Sears, and she was lucky enough to work for a really great person who, always said to her, look, if I can get you out of here with, all the money that's owed to you and, your pension and all that, I'm going to take that opportunity. Well, the opportunity came. So we'd been budgeting and banking on her going through that career change. And you know what? Take a year off, babe. Figure out what you want to do. It's good. I got my job. I got a business going. We're fine. Da-da-da-da. And the day came. It was her last day at work. 9 days later, my first day of my first vacation in a lot of years. Hey, can you come in for a meeting?
Oh.
That.
So instantly, the pessimist in me is like, okay, let me go through all my social media. What have I posted?
Right. What am I in trouble for?
Right.
And there's a lot of
That's
things
usually
I
when
post.
I get called in for something, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Mariana, you
yeah.
said
So it's
something
like,
again.
did I that picture that I meant to send to that person? Did that actually go onto the station? Like anyway, but you get into the building, and of course, it's not that. You recognize the entire team is there.
Oh, damn.
It's that day. So the next day, we were supposed to be on a flight to Newfoundland to a buddy's wedding, and we just decided, let's go to St. John's.
Right.
Let's just drink the best drinks. Let's just eat the best food, and we'll figure this out when we get back. So I found myself in a situation all of a sudden where I had no choice but to deal with it. And I was already in therapy, luckily. So I had a great therapist who coached me and walked me through, giving yourself time to mourn the loss of your job and plan what's next. And
because there's a mourning 100% with changes.
Yeah. You have to, and the thing that people don't realize is that, I've been in that building for 23 years. I mean, I had a lot of people around me who, I don't want to say that they, prove themselves not to be my friends, but all of a sudden, you're let go and they don't feel comfortable all of a sudden reaching out to you and is it too soon? Because they know you're in mourning, right? And and you lose touch with these people, and you find yourself all of a sudden very isolated.
Right.
And when you're, and I was already going through a major depression. I'd been gone. I mean, I went through such a bad depression. I was off the air for 3 months. I mean, I was on a suicide watch.
Okay.
That's how bad things got. Right. So I was already stuck in my head. But in that time where I'm freaking out and, oh my God, what's next? The irony, by the way, side note, and I'm monopolizing conversation here, but the irony is, in 1996, I launched a website that immediately became, and still is to this day, the go-to website in Canada for radio especially, but broadcast industry news, but most especially broadcast industry jobs.
Right.
So there's very few people working in radio in Canada today who didn't get an opportunity at least once in their career through my website. So they know me. And I was reaching out to station after station after station, and nothing was panning out. Nobody.
What do you think that was about?
At the time, I thought, I'm just not as good as I thought I was.
Right. So you thought it was something about you.
100%.
Okay.
But what I've come to realize years later, I think when you are that person who has that website that the industry looks to, and you have a resume with a lot of years on it, you're applying to people who, by that point in my life, are probably 10, 15, maybe 20 years younger than I am.
Right.
And why would I hire someone who has all of this experience, who's probably going to come here and be gunning for my job?
Right.
So
they were intimidated.
That's exactly it, Kelly. I really think that there was some intimidation factor there. And I also think, because, I mean, I was pretty cheeky, especially in my later years, at one station. I was referencing very adult things, right? And it was kind of a pushback to years of management, dictating to me what women wanted from a radio station.
Right.
Women didn't want rock. Women wanted Toni Braxton and Celine Dion. And I'm like, well, the women I went to high school with are the ones who were wearing the Motley Crue shirt and the Def Leppard shirt and introducing me to those bands. So it wasn't adding up. And then the conversations I was having with our audience, on our request line, wasn't jibing with all this bullshit that I was being fed about what women wanted from a radio station. And I'm sure there was, some, part of our demographic who certainly wanted that. But I was pushing back on it. And I was doing things like I would MC, the local sex trade show.
Right.
And management would find out about that. And you can't do that. That's not our brand. And I'm like, I don't give a goddamn about your brand. I'm on the air from 9 to 1. It's, 7 o'clock on a Friday. I'm on stage, pulling some woman across stage. She's wearing a strap on, and it's like,
right.
Yep.
And it was just thing after thing after thing after thing like that. And I realized that the people who were calling into our radio station, the women especially, they loved the attention. They loved the flirt. They loved the naughty.
Mm-hmm.
And that became my character.
Right.
Really upset management. Right.
Of course it would.
So I also think, besides the intimidation factor, there's definitely something in the water out there of the radio world.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I don't know, this guy, it's pretty risque, and do we really want to take a chance on that? And, you know, and I can't prove this, but if I ever can, oh man, I'll feel so vindicated. I really feel that one of my ex-managers really had it in for me. And, you know, whenever they get an opportunity at conventions and things and my name would come up, I wouldn't take a chance on that guy. You know, we had a lot of problems.
Right.
You know, he wouldn't sign the
jealousy or something.
Code of conduct and, you know, rebel and problem. I'm not a problem. You know,
no, usually you get pegged the problem. Really, it's an internal issue with them. You know what I mean?
But it ended up working out in your favor, though, John. Everything, right?
So let's bring it home. So there I am sitting at home depressed. I've lost my job. My phone's not ringing. It's not making sense to me. And I'm literally, like, just a few days after losing my job, flipping through my phone, and I come across an app. It's Divine Intervention. And the app was broadcast yourself. And I'm like, what? Broadcast myself. And it was an app on my phone that, you know, you installed, and any audio that you were running through your phone, it created an online radio station for you. And I went, okay, this is interesting. And I've been having conversations on social media and on the air with people. You know, I put my naughty side to rest for a little bit, but I was really focused on conversations about mental health. And I knew that those conversations had to continue.
Yep.
And I could continue them on Facebook and other social media platforms, but to have the radio component to it just felt so important to me. It would be such a massive missing piece in that puzzle. Mm-hmm. And so this thing just sort of came along and I went, okay, what do I do? So I figured out all these adapters and things. I had a little studio in my home already that, you know, I just needed to put the right software in, and suddenly I could mix tunes and get the microphone going and stuff. I just needed to figure out how to feed that all into the phone.
Right.
Because dumbass here, who set you guys up with all the tech,
didn't know the tech.
Realize that there was a website for this company. And had I gone to the website, I could have downloaded a very simple piece of software onto my computer that would have allowed me just to play everything off my computer, and it would stream it from there. Anyway, I started a radio station, and originally I launched it as Spank You Radio.
You didn't.
I did, actually. Spank You Radio, giving conventional radio a sound beating. That was my slogan.
God, I love it.
And because I was coming from the whole naughty side of things, and I thought that's fantastic. And I started having conversations with other broadcasters who were out of work, and they're like, I love what you're doing, but I don't want to be part of Spank You Radio. Come on, man.
Right.
You know, and 2:00 in the morning one night, I'm laying there and I'm going, yeah, you know, I got this website where on one hand, I'm asking them to pay money to put job postings on. And then I've got this radio station saying, oh yeah, screw you radio, right? I'm going to take you down. I got to change it.
Is there ever a point though, John, like when you went from, you know, doing the broadcasting thing to going independent, was there any time where you thought that I'm not going back to that? Like, was there a loss of identity?
No.
You always knew who he was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Oriana and I first met, I had a side hustle as a photographer. And Oriana had hired me to do some photos of listings and things, and we did some headshots together as well. And I'm sure she would tell you this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but all I talked about, radio.
Yeah, well, it's your voice though. Like you were born to do this. Like there's a reason God gifted you with that voice.
Right? That can't be a coincidence. And I recognize that. And I say that all the time to people. Like, can you imagine, you know, this kid who all he ever wanted to do was be on the radio. And then, you know, once I hit puberty, this is the voice that I've got.
Right.
I mean, come on. So So yeah, so I 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I got to change the name, babe. I got out of bed, and my poor wife was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, I think it's funny. I'm like, yeah, I can't. I wasn't even halfway down the stairs, and I came up with something to do with blast, because when I bought a stereo system when I was in my teens, my parents got me like a little cardboard sign and hung it on my door, and it said, "Warning, blasting area."
Right.
So halfway down the stairs, blast, 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 and by the time I got to the bottom of the stairs, blast the radio. And punched it in for a domain name search. It was available, and so BTR, or blasttheradio.com, was born.
That's amazing.
And so to answer your question, Kelly, was there ever a moment? No, I didn't have long enough to sort of really start figuring out, okay, if not radio, then what?
Right.
And had I...
Because you were already like at that turning point, you were like, nope, I'm staying on this. It works.
Yeah, and my initial thought was, I'll hang out here for a while until something else comes along. Well, 1 month became 2, became 3, became a year. And this community of people who just loved what I was doing developed around it. And there was a chat room component to it too. Like, we're talking 14, 15 years ago. I mean, if somebody had sat me down and said, okay, we're going to design an online radio station for you, would you like a chat room with that? I would have laughed, I would have laughed them out of the room saying, no, I mean, like, ICQ is dead and gone for a reason, guys. Nobody wants a chat room. This community of people who supported me and loved what I was doing. Suddenly I'm on the front page of the newspaper. I'm being interviewed by, TV stations and podcasters and trade magazines. Now we're winning awards for best radio station. I'm winning awards for best media personality. I'm not on AM, FM. So no, all of a sudden I found myself on exactly the right path. And what I said was, holy shit. The universe once again has put me exactly where it knew I needed to be.
That's right.
And
you were saying that there was a depression there when you were working your other job. Did your depression, like when you kind of was able to grab the reins and be unfiltered and uncensored, did the depression get better, or did you hit a rock bottom and then build up again?
The depression got, I love your question. Thank you. The depression got managed.
Okay.
Manageable. That's sometimes the best we can hope for, though, right? Sometimes it's just my God, let me be able to manage my life.
Yeah, and I had a great doctor who, for the longest time, you'd go for a physical, whatever else, and I always felt like, he was so busy. It was just, hi, John, what brings you in here? Okay, this is done, and moving on. And it felt rushed. And I knew for a while leading up to my big crash with depression, and it was a huge crash, and it happened very publicly on the air. But I knew leading up to that something wasn't right. So he sent me for stress tests, heart tests. I mean, everything was showing up medically. Everything was showing up as okay. I mean, a little heavy. Your cholesterol's a little high, but I'm not concerned about that. And so I finally had the epiphany of exactly what was going on, and I called him and I said, I need to see you. And he said, okay, come on in. And I said, I think depression. And his whole demeanor changed. And let's have a conversation. And I started, talking about, my frustrations, my feelings, my energy level was zapped and all these things. And he looked at me and goes, I don't know why it never dawned on me. He says, you're a type A personality. He said, you're tired. You are, and he put me off work for 3 months. But like most doctors, and I'm sure you've been through it too, they try and medicate it.
Oh, yes.
Right. And I did a stand-up comedy routine once where I talked about the medication, and my feeling on it in a nutshell is, an antidepressant, I think, the idea for the patient anyway, if you're unaware, is, oh, I'm going to take this magic pill and it's going to boost my mood. I'm going to be seeing unicorns and rainbows. And I went, no, that's LSD. That's a very different drug. So,
that's a very good
different
drug.
Trip.
That's a very good drug. Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I've not experienced LSD, but I think
lovely.
that was my expectation.
Hallucinogens are ready to go.
I ended up with it being very managed, and I never felt happy, but I never felt sad. And I just had this kind of hollow feeling in my head all the time. I was just kind of numb, and I'm sure you
emotionally blunted.
Yeah. So I functioned, but it never felt it never felt great,
Mm-hmm.
to answer your question.
So after the change, where did you feel like you were at your best? Like how, what was leading up to that? Or was there just this moment where you're like, oh shit, my life is really great? Like when did that happen after your big change?
Before I was let go or after?
Like after.
I would
More so
say,
now, like in the present.
yeah, several years ago, all of a sudden my phone started ringing. And here's why my move to internet radio, which again, I only intended to keep, for as long as I needed to until I found a job again, because you got to make a living, right?
Yeah.
What What's beautiful about it, again, the universe saying, I got you. I got you. Stick with me here. Is it put me in exactly the right place for my profession in the modern world of technology. And the technology that's there, the technology that's there now, I mean, there are actual newscasts and weather reports and traffic reports and overnight announcers that are 100% non-human. They're AI.
Yeah.
So that's where we are today. But 10 years ago, I started realizing, no, this is exactly where I need to be. Thank you, universe. And people started calling me saying, oh, okay, because I was marketing myself as well through the website that I run. Let's get you on, it's called voice tracking, our radio station. So what that is, I basically log on to their computer. There's the music log, and it tells me where I'm supposed to talk. I have a microphone wired into it. I hit a button. I hear the last few seconds of a song. I do the break. I start the next element, song, commercial, whatever, move on to the next thing. So a 4-hour show, if you're well prepared, takes you 45 minutes to do, maybe, if you want to do it well. And one station led to two, which led me to a call coming from the States, which back in the day,
now you do American radio.
Is where you want it to be. And I'm still grateful to be. No, I'm still very grateful to be there, and I have a great love affair with the city that I'm on in, and the people who I work for there adore me and champion me and check in all the time. How you doing? Hey man, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here. They're wonderful. We got a great partnership. But the one station led to I'm now on 5. Plus I've got several podcast properties. And I mean, you guys found me. I mean, through that. I mean, Oriana and I had the existing friendship, but I mean, your podcast is one of several that I have at least been able to get my fingers into a little bit and just help along. This is the kind of microphone you need. This is where you want to put a podcast for distribution. This is how you want to do your show write-ups. This is how SEO works. Can I help you with some editing, etc. So, I very quickly had the realization that no, I could never go back to conventional radio. I would not cope well in that environment.
Do you think the universe kind of lined it up that you had maybe outgrown that kind of corporate kind of uppity type thing? 100%. And so it's like, because you had the breakdown prior to being let go, right?
I was tired,
and maybe that was your body just being like,
like I said, I should have read the signs, and I should have gotten out of Dodge.
And it's like I had this conversation with Kelly this morning too, where it's you're asking for peace. So God removes things from your life because they're not peaceful. And, and it's sometimes it's about taking away and not adding. Right. And that can be very painful. That takeaway, that removal can be very painful. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and especially when you have people struggling with mental illness or trauma. Right.
Yeah.
So when change happens, because I think people who struggle with mental illness, not all, but myself, we want structure, we want routine, that kind of stuff, and then predictability. And when that just kind of blows up, it's like, what?
I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And then all that trauma comes in, and then you're like, woo, mental illness and triggers. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, the triggers.
It hits you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and then we start making decisions from trauma as opposed to like reality and what we're doing now.
And that's the benefit of a great partner, right? Who sees through that and puts the brakes on it real fast. Like, no, you're not thinking clearly, stupid. Let me walk you through this.
Well,
how long have you and your wife been together for?
Oh God! Why do women always ask this question?
Sorry.
Put guys on the spot.
You should know. Hello.
That's my point.
Couple of decades.
Since our first date was 96, so coming up on
That's like 29 years ish.
it's longer than that. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can't do. I told you math was not my
Math? No. Don't get me.
I always go to my
30
oldest son was
30
born in
years.
97 and
There you
he's
go.
28. So
yeah, it'll be 30 years married, just over 26,
Nice.
wow.
and usually friends. Usually,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's important. That's the most important thing. Respect. I was watching a podcast of something, and the main premise behind a healthy relationship is respect and not love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, and I'm glad to hear you say that too, because one of the things I really struggle with in life is I don't understand love. I love really
Okay.
and I mean that's a whole other conversation. I don't know if you're ready for
Yeah.
that conversation or not. It boils down to I'm adopted, right?
Right.
And the people who adopted me, I mean, nothing but love, and I felt that all around me all the time. But I was able to shove the whole adoption thing aside for the longest time.
And you had no interest in getting to know anybody.
Never did.
You were fine. You were fine.
Never
with your
did,
life.
and I always said that
Mhm.
I have no need for that. I don't want that, and if it ever presents itself to me, it's going to break me. I said that,
Right.
in my teens. I was like, I just don't want it. And it literally, the story on this is so wild. It would take forever to tell it, but
Mhm.
by virtue of being a public person,
Okay. Yeah.
they put two and two together and figured out who I was. And so I got this bombshell message one day, which got me really thinking about, somebody gave me up at one point,
Right.
and it angered me, and I hadn't really thought about it. And, I think over the years, subconsciously, I had a lot of questions about how could someone do that, and I know the reasons why now, and I understand it, and oh God, I'm so sympathetic to it. But I think without the benefit of that, you make up stories in your mind, right? Of
Right.
how just the atrocity, love. Oh yeah, well somebody's supposed to love their baby and they just gave it up and walked away,
Right.
and that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I had aunts and uncles and cousins that came in and out of my life, and suddenly they vanished and disappeared. Well, what the hell's love? And and so yeah, I love what you said about that.
Mhm.
I'm in a good place here. I understand. I understand what support is and true love is, and someone who's really got my back.
Mhm.
So change has been
learning.
negative and positive for you. Just like everybody
Yeah.
else, right?
Well,
But sometimes it's to the extreme, and sometimes it's subtle.
Two steps
Doesn't
back.
have to be big change, right? Little change can sometimes be hard or easy as well.
What's the expression? 2 steps back, 3 forward, etc.
Yeah.
It's 1 back and two forward. It's my
Yep.
math. See,
Yep.
math.
Exactly.
And I think there's a difference between wanting change and needing change.
Yep.
Yeah, and the trick is to identify when the need is there for you, because I failed to recognize that, and that's the biggest issue.
Me too.
Was my fit. Is that right?
Yeah, I really struggle.
I'd love to hear more about that. So, what's your story?
Yeah, no, we would need like 5 hours.
Podcast or something I can listen to where I can get that.
Right. Maybe Kelly can let herself be vulnerable there on the podcast a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we'll see one day.
All right. I'll interview you.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. No, I get I think a lot of my decisions are really trauma based, and I was moved around a lot when I was a kid. So change it's never been a positive thing for me. So I really struggle with wanting change, but I know I need it. So I get stuck in the that I need to change, but I don't want to change. But then I bitch and complain.
Set in your ways.
So,
and that's, I think it's ultimately my kind of way of trying to control things, but you
to
it's
keep
not
your
real.
anxiety at bay, right?
It's not real.
To keep your anxiety at bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever those of us who've gone through the therapy process and all of these
Mm-hmm.
conversations with great coaches, around us and books we read,
Mm-hmm.
it all boils down to the tools in the toolbox, right? Because people keep throwing
Right.
ideas at you. Try, every therapy session is a new tool in the
Yep.
toolbox. Try this. It may work for you. It may not work for me. It may
Mm-hmm.
work some of the time for Oriana. So when you're faced with change and you're coming at
Mm-hmm.
it from a trauma background,
Yeah.
what is the biggest tool in your toolbox then that you can turn to really help you get a grasp of it and start to deal with it and make decisions?
Well, that
Mm-hmm.
because I have anxiety, like I really struggle with anxiety, so it's the unknown.
Yeah.
So if I don't know the result or the outcome, I tend to stay in a big shit pile when I know it smells like shit
Mhm.
and it looks like shit, but I rather sit in that pile of shit
Right?
than
The
go
bag of
try
poo.
something else, the bag of poo.
The other bag of
Um,
poo over there.
Yeah.
so it's risk taking and being like, well, if it doesn't work out, it's okay. Because and maybe that's a bit of perfectionism too. I don't know, but it's the
But it's
unknown that scares me.
decisions to faith-based decisions,
Hmm.
right? If
Yeah.
you are a believer in something, a higher power,
Hmm.
spirit source, whatever you want to call it, if you
Hmm.
believe that things are always going to work out for your highest good,
Hmm.
that those decisions become easier. Well,
Right.
easier, less complicated,
Right.
maybe not easy, but less complicated. I think the path forms a little bit
Hmm.
easier in that sense, right? The
Yeah.
way forward, how to move, the choices become a little more clear, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
fascinated always because I do listen to your podcast. I know you both know that, and
hmm.
I have great admiration for how you both talk about faith
Mm.
Hmm.
and your belief in God.
Yep.
Because I was brought up in a Catholic church, and I've got a lot of reasons why I'm not part of the church anymore. And so,
We were
Right.
both brought up Catholic as well, and we're not
okay,
part of a church. Yeah.
Roman Catholic.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And my father is very devout to the Catholic Church and puts all of his faith in God.
Hmm.
That
Right.
he will end up in the place he's supposed to be. And I don't have that. And you probably heard me
Right.
purposefully, saying the universe
Hmm.
has my
Hmm.
That's
back,
all it is. It's just a higher power, John.
I suppose.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
all it is. People, it's those
I
words are
prefer to think of it
interchangeable.
as alien overlords, but
Jesus, Allah, Lord, universe, source, spirit, they're all interchangeable, and all it comes down to is that it's a higher power. It's something larger than you.
Yep.
Something larger than you that you have faith in, that maybe things are going to be okay.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I think too also um it's different for everybody. Like
Hmm.
even the way my belief system is, I believe in God, but I also believe in the trees and the water, and a lot of Catholics don't think that way, right?
mm,
So mine is kind of a mishmash, a mixed bag of things that I believe in. I
Yep.
don't know where I get it. It just I believe in it. It's there.
do you think that's born of a need for something that comforts you? Because that's what I
Probably.
admire about people who are devout to any religion or followers of religion
Probably.
specifically, is that and you can't knock that if it gives you
Hmm.
such great comfort and
Yep.
hope,
Yep.
It's the hope. Yeah. It's the hope.
right? Then that's a beautiful thing to latch on to.
Hmm.
And I can't.
Yeah.
I'm never knocking anybody who wants to follow Christ or follow God or
No.
use those terms. For me,
Yeah.
it's just I people who I was supposed to trust within the church really let me down, and
Right.
have a hard
Well,
time
I find
believing that someone who's supposed to be that much closer to God could do that.
Yeah. But yeah.
So I'm kind of on the outside going, not God, but something out there is steering me, down the path that I'm supposed to be on. Anyway, we
well,
got
Right.
have you heard the expression that religion is based on somebody else's story, and spirituality is based on your own?
well. Where was that quote from the get go?
Right? Well, that's my ending quote. I just used it now.
Are we done? You're done with me?
Yeah,
No.
we're done. That's it. It's true because
this is taking me back to that day. Can you come in for a meeting? We're done.
Different books, right? The Bible, the Quran, everything. It's a story, and it's a story everyone believes in. And I find a lot of that is made to have people stay in fear, almost like you got to meet all these criteria. You have to follow all these rules,
the 10 Commandments,
or you're not going to go to heaven, right? You're just, and so people have this holy and sinner mentality, right? This very black and white thinking,
right?
And there's a whole gray zone there where you are yourself, your soul, your spirit. Like it's not everything's black and white. And in spirituality, it's your own journey from A to B, right? Or A to Z. And it's the choices you make, and you have to have faith that things are going to work out. And like you call it the universe. The universe, things worked out for you. Why? Can you explain that really? No. Sometimes you can't.
No, and I try not to. I just, again, I guess this is, my come to Jesus moment, if you will, pardon the expression.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I have some belief somewhere that something out there is steering the ship that I'm on.
Yep.
Because even in my worst depression, 2 suicide attempts, and in both cases, I hit rock bottom, but I bounced. And there's got to be a reason for that. And I can chalk up my success in radio today and in broadcasting today to, well, I have the skills, I'm pig-headed, I'm determined. No, I mean, a lot of it, call it luck. People say, oh, you got so lucky, and I hate that word because no, I worked my ass off at this.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, Oriana sent me a note this morning because I had replied to her at 2:30 a.m. and she's like, go to bed, man. Like, just because
you're up late.
I'm always up. My day starts at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? And then I do 5 shows on 5 radio stations in 2 countries. And as soon as I'm done the radio shows, I'm back researching and getting ready for the next day. So it's not unusual for me to be up at 2:30 in the morning. But that's, I mean,
I think it sounds like to me, you have faith.
You do. You just don't understand it the same way we do.
That, you know what? That's perfect. Yeah.
It's
and
just
that song, the George Michael song, just started playing in my mind.
That's such a good song. That's such a good song. But no, like John, like the church we go to, even quote unquote church, that's one of the things there. They say that there's no dogma or creed, and it's the God of your own understanding. And so yours just might be universe.
Yep. Or there's something out there. Don't understand it, but something's out there. Yeah.
There has to be.
Yep.
There has to be, because I am miraculously still here and thriving.
Exactly.
And something wouldn't let me quit, even though I wanted to. It's a driving force somewhere in the back of my head. It's in my DNA. So.
Yep. Exactly.
And with that being said, I want to talk about a little bit about emotional detox. What do you do for John, for your emotional detox? Do you cry? Do you punch a pillow?
Honestly, not nearly enough. I'm bad for that. I up against the wall.
Self-care. Self-care. How do you self-care?
What I am, I have to be proactive, right? Like I need to. Simon Sinek again taught me this.
Yes.
Oh God, it was a great conversation. I love what he said. The person that's calling you and wants to book you for, let's say, 2:00 in the afternoon, and people will reply, no, I'm not available at 2. Or they'll take the 2:00, even though I kind of wanted to do this. I kind of wanted to do that. And what he said was, he goes to the gym daily. And so his time at the gym is always on his calendar. And so when somebody wants him for that time that is already on his calendar, it's not a lie when he says, I'm booked at that time.
That's right.
How's 4? How's 5? So I've adopted that for myself, where I put it on my calendar every single day. And my days are mostly structured the same. There's a couple of variants in there with podcasts that I'm involved in, and and Sue's work schedule, and driving her to work, getting her home. She's got book club. They drink wine together and talk about books.
I need to go to that book club.
But I schedule my time at the dog park.
Okay.
That's my, and I just, I know it's good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the joy from the dog when it's time to go to the dog park. And it's really my only hour in the day where I allow myself to put the phone away,
right,
listen to some music, take the camera, play with the dog. So that's my self-care.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and beyond that, I'm not doing nearly as much as I should. There's a million things. Like Oriana, I mean, I should be going to the gym. I admire, I'm watching you jump up and down things. And
oh God, yeah.
I did that. I couldn't keep the commitment to it. It hurts. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I've got three. Here's the thing. I got 3 bicycles in my garage because in my mind, I remember being a kid, how much joy I took on a bicycle. I haven't ridden a bike in I don't know how many years, but I think if I just allowed myself, if I put it on my calendar saying ride the bike today, I probably would. But no, that's my biggest work on me project right now is making sure I take more time for me.
I recently made a post, John, and I think it might help you out a little bit where people will say, like, well, where do you get your motivation? It's not about motivation, it's about consistency. You do it one day, you do it the next day, the next day.
Yeah, it's those micro commitments.
And it's exactly just those little things. Like today, I'm going to just 5 minutes. There's days, John, where I pull up to the gym. I'm like, okay, fuck, I'm going in for 5 minutes. And it's never 5 minutes. I always do at least like 30 to 40 minutes. But
do you put it on your calendar, or are you just driven enough to show up?
Right now, I lack the motivation. So it's the consistency that is driving me. Like I have to do it. I have to get out of the house. It's good for your mind and soul. And once I get there, I'm okay. Like if I've gone to all this trouble to get dressed and, drink my shake and stuff, and I got to get there and I got to do it. But I have 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. So that's generally how I schedule myself.
See, I'm fascinated by that because I just know I could say it in my head. Tomorrow, I'm going to do what I've always said I'm going to do. I'm going to drive to gym. I'm going to sign up for gym, and I'm going to start going to the gym. But all of a sudden, tomorrow comes, and it's like, you know what? I got an hour here.
Yep.
I can sit on the couch and flip through TikTok, which...
So you know what you should do? If you have that, and I learned this from Mel Robbins, actually, it's something that happens in our brain, a processing thing, where if you count backwards from 5... when you get to 1, you will get up and you will fucking do it. And I can be sitting there cozy in my house coat, flipping through my phone, doing my thing. It's like, Rihanna, you got to get ready for the gym. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're up.
Did you have to make it a math problem though?
5, John. 5, 4, 3,
You
2,
only got to get to... Yeah,
just 5. Get to the 1. Just get to the 1. But seriously, and I do it in simple things too. Like, when you're like, having a shower and it's a great hot shower and you don't want to get out because it's cold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, showers off. Little things. And she did it. I think she had a problem with flying is what it came down to. And she started doing it on an airplane or something to that effect. But it's a great tool and it works because there's something that happens in your prefrontal cortex that helps you like make that switch.
I admire this. I love it.
It's not overthinking it. It's just doing
5,
it.
4, 3, 2, 1, get up.
Go. Yeah.
Telling you, just give it a try. It's so easy and you wouldn't think. You probably don't believe me.
All right, I'll make you a deal.
Fine.
I'll make you a deal. I will try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but that's not happening as it pertains to getting out of the hot, cozy shower. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
I'll find other ways to work that into my life.
You have your boundaries and limits.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But just give it a go and let me know what you think. I'm curious.
All right, I'll have my people call your people, okay?
Yeah, I have people. I have people.
Well,
they
now
might
we're going to
have four
hold
legs
you.
and be hairy, but I have people.
Well, it's accountability time now, and that's part of change too, right? Is having your people around, like probably your wife, John, what kind of keeps you accountable. I know my kids keep me accountable.
My wife, not so much, because she's happy to let me just be in my little happy place. What keeps me accountable professionally these days, experience. So I know I'm self-coached, right? So this, and I'm currently writing my story in a book, which was supposed to come out last year, but so much changed. I felt it wouldn't be genuine, or it wouldn't be honest to put it out there. There's other things I wanted to do, so I've been sort of working and updating it. And now completely lost. So I've taught myself what I've learned. Sorry, now I realize what I wanted to say. The coaching I always desperately wanted in my radio career and didn't get. I became that coach for myself. I am self-guided, self-coached, self-motivated to have. I am in the place I am now on 5 radio stations in 2 countries, running the #1 website for the radio industry, despite depression, despite anxiety, despite all kinds of, things that should have knocked me down and out. Because I did this, because I wasn't getting the answers I needed from the people I was supposed to be getting them from. I found them elsewhere.
Did you find that, and it works for me, that maybe anger is an activator for you, where you have been maybe let down, or you wish you had something and it's not there for you, and that pisses you off, and you get up and you do it yourself? Same with me.
I will find the answers, and I will find what I'm looking for. And if you're not, you know what? I remember the tipping point too. I worked for a manager who I went to every single week. Hey man, because in radio, in any job, there's a regular review of what you do. And in radio, especially like in my early years, every week I sat down with a programmer who went through bits and pieces of my show. We would just listen to audio and try this, try that, do this different, try that different. And that built you. And that was coaching, and you would evolve. And I remember this one manager I went to, and I said, hey, I'd love to go over a tape with you. And he laughed and he says, you're fine. If I ever hear anything on the air that I don't like, I'll let you know. And it just pissed me off into, let's find the answers I'm looking for. Let's start listening to the people who I know are succeeding and compare myself and my own audio to what they're doing. What can I pull from this person? What can I pull from that person? And you latch on to the people who are giving you those, Well,
and you had to create change, right? You had to pull it out of. Sometimes people lack the resources, but if you have resourcefulness, right? There's, who did I hear? Tony Robbins.
Heard of him.
There's resources and there's resourcefulness.
I love that.
And I think you have resourcefulness.
That I do.
As do Kelly and I. Yeah.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Which is why your podcast is the success that it is. And I can't believe that I got to be part of it. So thank you for this.
Oh,
no, thank you, John.
Yeah.
And with that being said, that was a wonderful conversation. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Yeah, it really was. Do you have another quote, John? Maybe we said we were going to do closing quotes, and I don't even have one today.
I do.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead, John.
A friend of mine came up with this quote, actually. Kelly, I think you'll especially like it. Living the dream.
Well.
I wouldn't be if I wasn't making you laugh, guys. Come on. I love you.
That was amazing. And again, thank you so much, John, for all your support. And
everything you've done for us.
Great.
I don't know where we'd be. No,
you got
it. Well, I think Oriana and I were like, well, if John believes in us, okay.
And I do.
Yep. You do. No, and your words of encouragement and it means a lot.
Well, glad we're friends.
Now
that's enough blowing smoke up my ass. No. Y'all need to move on with your day now. Your listeners are counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They got dog.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shut up.
All right, thank you, listeners. Please subscribe and all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for your time. Bye.